Okay, so we're going to go over a little bit the booking process from start to finish. So, the basically one of the first things I was going to say is don't research before all of the details. Now sometimes there's cases where a client wants to do something that isn't even really possible. Like it's not something you can book. So for instance, they want to go on a cruise and they want to make a stop at Hawaii, for instance, and they want to also go at a certain time of year with a certain cruise line. Those things may not all meet up. So sometimes you do need to do a little bit of research and you're like, okay, that's not even something that I can book. And then you need to go back to them and let them know that. That doesn't happen that often, but it can happen. So the basically the first thing I'm saying you need to do is really qualify your client. Make sure that you've asked them all of the details before you just go doing a bunch of work, because it ends up that you can spend hours upon end leaving, asking them another question, coming back, researching again, asking them another question. It just puts you through a lot of work. And I've had a firsthand experience with that, especially when it came to a group that wanted to book with me. It was really a hassle because I basically didn't do my due diligence and do my research in enough time to understand like what the best way to go about booking a group was. But basically what you need to do is send them some sort of form, or else get on the phone with them and get every single last detail. Sometimes with a group, over the phone may not be as handy because they need to have all of that info together. And if you're asking one person over the phone, they're probably going to have to go back and ask these other people, well, how is this? How do we want this done? All of that. So sometimes it's best to come up with a really good quote form for a group, and then get them to fill everything out exactly how they need it, and then come back to you, especially with all of the details. So yeah, but for today, I'll probably won't go over a group thing just because it's not really something that I feel super qualified to teach on, but I am going to go over just kind of a general process of what I do for a booking. So I'm going to use the example of someone coming across my quote form. So they've come across my quote form, they've filled it out. So for instance, I'm going to show you guys where I keep my quote form. So I have a link tree on my Facebook profile. I have a quote form inside of there. So right here, quote request form. So someone comes in here and they fill this out. All right. They give me all the details. I'm going to go ahead and fill it out like I am a person. So yeah, it's saying, are you prepared to make a deposit if the quote is acceptable? So I'll select yes for that. Social media or other, I'll just put social media. Email, you just put your email in there. You put your first name and your last name. This is the client obviously filling this out, but I'm putting it in because I want it to come to my email. So they put that in, and let's just say they want to do hotel and airfare. All right, so that makes it simple. They could add a car on there, whatever, but let's just use those two for this example. What type of experience are you looking for? I'm not going to fill that in for this because I don't have anything coming to my mind. How many travelers? Let's just put 2. That's what I've booked mostly. Like I think overall so far is 2. So it's something I tend to specialize in is romance, honeymoon stuff that's like, or anniversaries or stuff that tends to be around 2 people. So I'm just going to use that. So 1 room, 2 people. Let's do an ocean view room. Let's pretend they're staying at like a nice resort, but they want to see the ocean out their window. Ocean view with balcony. All right. How many adults? Okay, it was 2, and there's no children. So 0. Reason for work. Let's just do a honeymoon. All right. Let's do Cancun. We're just gonna make this very easy on me. Cancun. Where are you departing from? Let's do Nashville. That's close to me. All right. So I'm just kind of, I don't know if maybe I shouldn't take the time to go through all this, but they've given you all of these details. Okay. All of this is pretty specific, but it's not really specific. So let's say they filled this all out. They've given their budget here. They've given whether or not they want to transfer. They've said if they want a certain rental company, all of that stuff. Let's say they said, okay, we prefer where is it? Okay, include anything special or extra. Let's say they say, well, we prefer Delta Airlines. Okay. But let's say the destination they're going to, like right away when you search to start giving a quote, it doesn't have Delta. You'll have to let them know that. And a lot of times people are okay with that. But this is what I mean is what I tend to do. Okay. So someone submit this quote, it comes to my email. What I tend to do is go start researching right away because that's just me. I'm like curious. But one of the better things to do is maybe do a tiny bit of research. Just let yourself not spend long in it enough at it to like be wasting your time. But spend a little bit of time at it and then see if you need more details from them. So for instance, this quote form, it doesn't say, I don't even think this one says like, do you want extra luggage? Yeah, it doesn't say all of that. So often, I think I have stuff written down somewhere, but I usually ask like, how much luggage are you going to need? I ask if they have a preferred airlines, if they really would want to use one, if there's flights for that. But sometimes, you can give a general quote too. So you can give a quote that's their preferred stuff, even if it's priced really high. And then you can give a quote that's, within their budget that is still nice. So that's what I do. I don't know why my brain is left, guys. Sorry. So after they submit this, you guys will get it in your email, right? If it's a jot form or whatever form you have set up, you'll get it in your email. I usually let them know, hey, I've received your quote. I'll get back to you on it within so-and-so hours or within this time. So the last time I got one, I would have said, I'll be in touch with you about this tomorrow. Could we set up a phone call? Because I had seen what she wanted. And I often, even if I don't have a lot of questions, I like to get on the phone and make a connection with them, ask them kind of the experience they want to have, get the little details, and then I go get the quote. And what I do when I'm on the phone as well, the first time I say, what I'm going to do is send you two different quotes, one that's like the best of the best and one that's a little less. And I try to put both within their budget, but sometimes depending on what they put in this quote form, it's not going to be able to be within the budget. So if it's a little above, I go ahead and send that in the quote as well. And then I send one that's within the budget. So that's what I recommend doing. I guess, I don't know, everyone has their process, but that's what I do. And so I'll let her know when I'm going to send the quote over. And as soon as I send the quote, they usually respond, hey, we want this option or we want this option. The last one I did, it was very easy. They knew exactly which one they wanted and I went and booked it and it was very easy. It's not always that way, but it was very easy. So that's my process. And then what I do is let me share that other screen again. So what I do after that is I just send this over. I say, please send a photo of both passengers' IDs or passports for flights. Please fill out the rest of this credit card authorization form and send a photo back. And then I say, please send a photo of the name on the credit or debit card being used to book. You need to block out the card numbers for security purposes. So this is what I did last time. She just covered the card numbers with a little paper. It was very straightforward and easy. I just sent this exact thing to her. And then I also said, as soon as you get this info texted or emailed over to me, I will be ready to get on the phone and book with you. So she sent this stuff fairly quickly. And then we just got right on the phone and I got the whole card number, obviously, and put it right into the site. And then after that, of course, you just fill out your commission tracking form and then you send over the itinerary with their details. I sure can, Ramon. I'll send this document to you if you like. Yes. So I know this is a little sloppy and I wrote this out real quick. I just kind of wanted to put out my process here and it will vary from client to client. Like I said, Ramon, I know you're trying to work at a group cruise and that is something I have not done. So I'll be honest about that. I've not done it and I need to research it more, but it is a lot of work. And so it is really important to get all of their details before you do research because then you're out a lot of time and not enough money.
Figure it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I find, yeah.
Okay, great. I just know yeah, groups are just a lot of people to work with. And so you do want to make sure for one thing that they're all for sure planning to go, sometimes one person will contact you and be like, hey, I have this group that wants to go. Well, do they for sure, are they all good with those dates? Are they all going to go? Because you have to make sure of that too. So yeah, groups are a whole nother thing and they're a lot of work, but there are people that I'm sure can also be of more help to you guys than I can as far as groups go, because some people do that a lot and they've had a lot of experience. And experience is your best tool, really. Like, as far as booking goes, it is your best tool, and you learn so much. And so my process may not work the same for you, just because everyone is different and everyone's clients are different too. So sometimes for me, it varies too. Like, if someone would comment on like one of my mock bookings instead, I would tend to just get on the phone with them and go over the very few details. Because if they actually would want this trip itself, you wouldn't, I mean, if they would want exactly that for those dates for that deal, I would just get on the phone and go over the details. I wouldn't as much send them a quote form, I don't think. So it does just depend. Everyone has their process, but it is nice to have a really nice quote form so that you have that available to you. And one other thing I was going to talk about before I finish this part up is your itinerary. So I know it's easy to get into a lot of work with an itinerary, and it depends on the booking. But often what I do is, since I've already put together a quote for them, I'll take that same quote and whatever I created it on, whether it be Canva, whether it be a Google Doc, however I created that quote, I will just revise it a little bit. So if the one quote was exactly what they chose, then I can just revise it, add in, like, if there were flights, I can add in the flight numbers, the airlines, the stuff that they need, or I can just copy and paste it in from my itinerary. Don't make it too hard on yourself. And there are, I'm sure, trainings on itineraries that I haven't even seen probably that are really nice ways to make itineraries too. So you guys can look into that. Sorry, let me see if I can take that away so it stops making noise. All right, so that's kind of my process. Do you guys have any questions around this? I'll make sure I send this to you after the meeting today, Ramon, or if anyone wants it, I can quick just put it into the chat. Just make a copy of it if you don't mind. It's not anything very particular or great, so I understand if you guys don't need it or want it. I just used it for my own self because I'm very forgetful right now. So, okay, if there's no questions around this, that's fine. I might stop the recording here soon. I kind of wanted this short process for a few people, so I just wanted to do that recording. Let me see here.